I can still remember getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning or earlier to rush off to that corporate job. You know, and at that job I worked 60 or more hours each week, and even though I put in those long hours, I still felt like I could be the next one to go. And that would have been fine if I was making the big bucks, but it always seemed like it was barely enough to pay all my bills. Not only that, but my 401k was just a joke. Well, that was me 12 years ago. I knew I had to make a change. Fast.
12 years ago, I bought this course on late night television on how to buy investment properties, how to invest in real estate. And I didn't know if I could actually do it or not because I didn't have good credit and I didn't have any money. I found this property here, which is two duplexes, or which was a duplex next to a house, and the owner of the property agreed to finance that to me. And so I bought the property for $38,000. Now it brings in a rent of around $1,400 for me. And that gives us about an $850 a month positive cash flow once all the expenses and the mortgage is taken into account. And I went on to buy many other properties, and so let's take a look at a few others. Now I borrowed most of the money to buy this house from the person who I bought the house from. In fact, I borrowed the money, most of that money at 0% interest. And bought it about a year ago. In about 5 years, that person will be paid off completely. Now what I did is I turned around and I sold it to someone where I was financing the sale, and I did two of my favorite things. One is I increased the price. In fact, I just about doubled the price from the price that I bought it at, which was about $40,000. The other thing is that I bumped up the interest rate. Obviously, the person who bought it from me is not going to get an interest-free loan. In fact, they're going to pay around 10%. So it'll make for a very nice, positive cash flow. I got money from the person who bought it from me up front, and it works out very nicely. I bought this house for $10,000. You might wonder, well, could I have possibly bought this house for $10,000? Someone contacted me. I placed a free ad on Craigslist, and they needed to get rid of the property. It was actually a company that worked for a bank that had bought a big block of foreclosed properties, foreclosed homes. Now you might say to yourself, well, there's no way I could buy a $10,000 property where I live in my city. And that might be true. Maybe you have to pay $20,000, $30,000 to get a great deal. The point is, there are great deals out there, and you can find those without spending a great deal of money on advertising by using simple things like Craigslist. I bought this property recently. It was a bank-owned property. So this was a foreclosed house. I bought it for $15,500. And I thought I was getting a great deal. And it still ended up being a great deal, but I really messed up. I made a huge mistake. I totally missed that someone had gone in and stripped out all the copper wiring from the house. That added another big expense. In fact, I had to pay $5,000 for an electrician to come in to totally rewire the house. He put all kinds of holes in the sheetrock, which all that had to be repaired. I did find a tenant who wanted to live in the house, and she agreed to fix all the holes with the sheetrock patches, to go in and repaint the entire inside of the house once that was done. also to do a bunch of other repairs. She agreed to rent the house for $400 a month. She did all that work. She got everything completed. Now she's paying rent. So it still ended up being a very good deal for us. Even after totally screwing up, totally messing up, we still, our rent, our monthly rent, $400, is still about 2% of the total investment that we have in the property. And that's the rule of thumb that we shoot for, is to have about our monthly rent about 2% of the total investment.
I don't know what your situation is right now. Maybe you're looking to replace your paycheck like I was. Maybe you think that you might be the next one to go. Maybe you just want more for you and your family. But what I do know is that there's definitely something that you can do about it. To find out more, go to www.replaceyourpaychecknow.com. That's www.replaceyourpaychecknow.com. We'll see you there.